we ready, boys and girls? Now, boys and girls, do you remember when we talked about central idea? Who remembers that? Oh, good, I see a lot of hands up, so we remember central idea. Central idea is so important because when we're reading, we want to think about what the central idea of a text is, and that is what a text is mostly about. Do you remember us talking about that? And I remember this because we had the picture of the table. And I really liked this idea of the table because the table is the central idea, and then we have the details that kind of hold the central idea up. So when we're thinking about the central idea, boys and girls, we look for some clues. We're always looking for clues when we're reading because it helps us, right, Evelyn? We're looking for those clues. And here are some clues. We look for text clues. And here are the text clues that we're looking for. We look for headings. Headings give us an idea of what the central idea of something is we're reading. We look for some visuals. We look for visuals. We look for the first or the last sentence. That's always handy dandy. I always look because sometimes the very first sentence will tell us the central idea of something. And we look for maybe repeated words in a paragraph or something because that will also tell us the central idea. Because if I was reading something and it kept using the same word over and over and over again, it would give me an idea that that is central to what I'm reading. That would be the central idea, boys and girls. So, what we're going to be looking at is we're also going to be looking for another clue. We're going to be looking for examples. We're going to be looking for facts. We're going to be looking for those things. Those help us figure out what the central idea is. Those are the clues. They help us identify it. Because remember, when we're readers, we have to be thinking about what we're reading. We have to be like investigators, almost like detectives. It helps us so much. Because if we're not thinking about what we're reading, we're just wasting our time, right, Hector? We're always thinking about what we're reading. Otherwise, we'll have read something and then 2 seconds later, it's like we never read it. Do we want to be readers like that, boys and girls? No. So we're looking for the clues. We're trying to figure out, what did we just read? What is it about? So we're looking at these things. We're looking at the headings. We're looking at the subheadings. A subheading is a heading underneath a bigger heading. It's a subheading. And we're looking for maybe that first or last sentence. That always gives us a clue to the central idea. Sometimes you'll hear that central idea is also called does anybody else know what it's called?
The main idea.
The main idea or central idea. They call it, that's like interchangeable. They're called the same thing. Very, very good. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to read a page in your book. And we're going to try, as a matter of fact, we're going to read maybe 2 different pages. And we're going to try to find the central idea. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to look on page 285. So let's do that. I'm going to find 285 in here. Here it is, 285. I'm going to switch this to one page. Here it is, 285. There we are on 285. Here we are. We're on this page where we learned such an interesting fact. I love knowing that the statue's full name is Lady Enlightening the World. What a cool name, boys and girls. Okay, now I need somebody to read us this page. And look how our paragraphs are numbered. That helps us so much when we're looking for text evidence. Olivia, would you like to read that in a nice, loud teacher voice so we can all hear? Read for us. Oh, everybody's eyeballs should be on that page. Eyes on the page. Go ahead, Olivia.
I could see New York City, and I guess Ranger Alicia from
so boys and girls, this is what we're going to do. We want to be trying to figure out what is the main or central idea of paragraph 29. So we're going to be looking in 29. Let me see. Oops. For some reason, now this is not working for me. I don't know why. So, let's see. Does this let me highlight? Where are the notes? Where are the highlights? This thing used to let you highlight. Now I don't know what's going on here. Not letting me highlight. Okay, well you're going to highlight, okay? I'll tell you what to highlight and what to underline and what to circle. So you're going to do that, okay? So you have to pay attention. So, what do you think is the central idea of 29? You can either highlight or you could circle. Do you all have your highlighters conveniently located? Oh, perfect. People are just taking them right out. Awesome. Very convenient. If you don't, then you could just circle. That's okay, just as good. It doesn't matter. You could just circle. Perfect. Oh, everybody's got one. Okay. So before we highlight, we have to decide what is the central idea of 29. What do you think of paragraph 29? What do you think the central idea of that paragraph is? What do you think it is? Logan, what do you think it is?
People coming to the United States.
Read the whole sentence for me.
People who sailed to the United States used to stop there when they first arrived.
Yes, perfect, everybody, let's highlight that. People who sailed to the United States used to stop there when they first arrived. Everybody highlight that sentence, this one right here. People who sailed to the United States used to stop there when they arrived. Oh, perfect. There, I was able to do it that way. I've got it in yellow. Perfect. Just like most of you. Okay, now here's what we're going to do. Now we have to find some details that support that. What are some details that are going to give us some more information? We need some text evidence. Remember, we love text evidence. We have to have proof. Proof, proof, proof. I love proof. What is a fact from the story in that it's going to be in that paragraph that is going to, now we're not going to highlight it though. We're going to have to use our pencil now because we want it not, we have to have it so it stands out in a different sort of way, boys and girls. Claire, what else could we say?
It says, she seems to be welcoming them to their new home.
Yes, the statue seemed to be, it says here, she seemed to be welcoming them to their new home. Everybody with your pencil, underline that last sentence where it says she seemed to be welcoming them to their new home. Use your pencil to underline this. She seemed to be welcoming them to their new home. We can underline that. She seemed to be welcoming them to their new home. That supports them. What else? There's more. More. John.
It was one of the first things they saw.
It was one of the first things they saw. Very good. Let's underline it was one of the first things they saw. I love it. You guys are doing a great job with your text evidence. Wow. Very good. Now, you know what I noticed? Did you notice this? That was the first, practically, it was one of the, almost the first sentence. It was the second sentence, but it was one of the beginning sentences of that paragraph, right, Logan? That gave us that important information. Is there another important detail? Another supporting detail? Hector.
These new Americans sailed past the
Americans sailed past the statue on their way. Let's underline that as well. That is another supporting detail. So we have 3 supporting details with that main idea that Logan gave us. Wasn't it Logan who gave us that main idea? Yes. Very good. Good job, boys and girls. You guys are good. Okay. Now here's what we're going to do. Let's go to page, let's go to page 287. I like 287. Let's go to 287. We'll have somebody, is everybody on 287? We'll have somebody else read that page for us. 287, we need somebody else to read that page for us. I had a girl, I'll have a boy read it this time. Gabe, why don't you read it nice and loud?
What do we call Grandpa Alicia? Mr. Pope asked. Thank you, Grandpa Alicia. We shout. As we sail away, Mr. Pope says, that the Statue of Liberty is a symbol of freedom. What does freedom mean to you? Going to the park without my brother, Sarah said. Eating whatever kind of ice cream I want, Tim says. On the way home, we stop for ice cream. We hold up our cones just like Lady Liberty's torch.
Okay, now, let's look at that page. Now, I'm not going to tell you a specific paragraph number, but I want you to try to figure out kind of what the central idea of the whole page is. What do you think the central idea of most of that page is when we're looking at most of the page? Claire, what do you think most of the page is?
The Statue of Liberty is a symbol of freedom.
Very good. That is, I would pick that out as the central idea of the whole page. Good job. So let's underline that. Oh no, we did the wrong thing. Okay? So we like that. The Statue of Liberty is a symbol of freedom. Now we're going to pick up our pencil. Did everybody get that? Now we're going to try to find some good supporting details. What are some good supporting details that tell us more about the Statue of Liberty is a symbol of freedom? What is something good there for us? Lucas, what do you see good there?
Going to the park without my brother, Sarah says.
Yes, going to the park without my brother. That's a good one. I like that. Going to the park without my brother. Those of you who might have a little brother or sister might identify with that, right? Yeah? Might feel free by that. What else? So we're going to underline this, going to the park without my brother, says Sarah. Santiago, what do you think?
Eating whatever kind of ice cream I want.
Yes, eating whatever kind of ice cream I want, because those are all examples of freedom. Good job. Good job, boys and girls. I like that. I think those are 2 great supporting details that support that. I think we'll go with just those 2. I like it. Very good. You guys were very good at finding those details. Excellent job. Now, here's the next thing we're going to do. I'm going to have you, while we're in our book, oh, we're gonna talk about something though. I'm gonna have somebody read the blue. Read in that blue flag. Read in the blue flag for me. Claire, you wanna read in that blue flag?
The Statue of Liberty holds a tablet that reads July IV NDCCLXXVI. This means July 4th, 1776, the date of America's independence.
Oh, now, does anybody know what MDCCLXXVI are? What are those? What are those? Isabella?
I don't know what they quite are called, but I've seen them before.
You've seen them before. Very cool. Have you seen those before? Lucas, have you seen those before?
I think they stand for something.
They stand for something. Do you know what those are called, John?
It means the 4th of July.
You know what? Part of them does stand for the IV stands for the 4th, that's for sure. Do you know what those are called, Gabe? Those are called Roman numerals. Roman numerals, and that's how they used to write numbers. That's how they used to write numbers, boys and girls. And when you're looking at this, where we have July, which is the month, and then we have, oops, let me get this. And we have IV. I stands for the number 1, and V stands for the number 5. And yet that stands for the number 4. How do you think that stands for the number 4? Olivia?
Because 5 minus 1 equals 4?
That's how it stands for that number. This stands for 4. This is called 4. And so then if you have, so this is, so if I was doing the number 4, if so you would do, so if I had the number 3, it would look like this. That's what the number 3 would look like, but they'd be closer together. That's 3, 1, 2, 3. So boys and girls, this is the number 10 in Roman numerals, X. What do you think this number would be? Ava?
11.
Not 11. Good guess, though. That's an excellent guess. Hector?
12.
Rosie?
15.
No. Good guess. Evelyn?
6.
No. Logan?
15.
No. Santiago?
9.
9. It's 9. Because just like here where you have the I and the V, where you have to subtract to get the number 4, you do the same thing here because this is a 1 and a 10, and you have to subtract it to get that number. That's how the system works. Yes?
So, like, that's what it means by, like, on some movies, like, there's, like, 1, 2, 3, there's, like, many kinds of that movie, and it writes like that.
Oh, at the end of movies where they show the date on the movie, yes, they do it in Roman numerals, yes. When they have that whatever, that's the year of the movie in Roman numerals. When they show at the end of the movie and the credit at the end, yes, they'll do it in Roman numerals to be fancy.
That was all I
So
could
there
think
you
about.
go. Oop. Oh, I didn't put it in the right magnetic spot. Okay, so there you go. Okay, so boys and girls. So that is that story. So here.